Hello guys, I hope you are all fine. So we discussed in previous video module 5 part 2, and in this video we will talk about module 5 part 3. Module 5, interview attention developing techniques. Part 3, techniques of speak clearly. Section 1 is about of speak clearly overview. Section 2 is flowchart of speak clearly process approaches. Section 3 is explanation of flow chart on speak clearly techniques. So in this video, we will be covered and learn Module 5, Part 3, Section 1, Section 2, and Section 3. So we will move to the next slide. Part 3, Techniques of Speak Clearly, is Section 1, About of Speak Clearly overview. The candidate should think first before delivering the answer to the interview panel. The thinking time duration should not be more and to be in quick right intervals needs to be delivered the speaking. While thinking about any questions, eye contact should be around the panel and it should not look outside the panel around. If the candidate speaks without thinking in the front of interview panel, it might be the candidate rejected due to uncertain speaking. The candidate should not deliver a speech without thinking of the correct answer. Thinking is the process of recollecting an idea or knowledge and delivering the correct answers. While thinking, the head and the body should not be moved in proper way. Body language should be proper while thinking in the same place. While thinking, the candidate should not go outside the room to think or collect ideas. So in this section 1, basically talking about the thinking process during the interview panel. Whenever interview panel is asking the questions to the interview or to the candidate, the candidate should not take the more time to answer or he should not make quick response. There the duration between the asking question and replying the answer at least should be 2 seconds. 2 second pause it which makes that you are trying to deliver the answer very confidently. And about the once you are making a pause and then you are recollecting the previous ideas very easily and delivering the correct speech to the front of interview panel and around your eye contact and your body language and your postures of the body should be perfect while processing and entering in the room or in the during the interview. And your eye contact should be around the interview panel to make them confidence and willingness to apply or get the job in this organization. So we will learn next in the slide, section 2. Just we'll move next slide. Section 2, flowchart of speak clearly process approaches. So here, thinking before speaking, having a three categories. First is recollecting ideas, remind previous object, and observing asked questions. So first is recollecting ideas, means that the candidate, while speaking or while providing an answer, he should um, recollect the recollect the correct ideas, because assumptions will not work in the interview. Only the correctness and will be preferable and most desirable to evaluated by the interview panel. Remind previous object. So we need to look if something candidate is missing or something candidate is not able to recollect the previous ideas. Some of the objects, substances, they can easily recollect it and give the right answers. Next is observing asked questions. Observing asked questions means in the last 2 years or last 3 years, what are the questions already has been asked from the interview panel for the same pattern of the organization. This will help to the candidate to crack the interview in the first attempt. And section 3 is explanation of flowchart on speak clearly techniques. The candidate should follow the three categories of thinking before speaking. The first category is recollecting ideas, means that candidate will remember the already happened ideas in the past and collect it and deliver the correct answers to the interview panel. The second category is reminding previous object, means that candidate should look at the previous object or picture to remember the ideas to deliver the answers in the front of the interview panel. The third category is observing asked questions, means the candidate will listen to the interviewer and reply to the answers with the analyzing questions asked in the interview panel round. So section 3 all over the about the three categories has been and discussed, and we should follow three categories to be perfect in the interview process. So we'll move to the next slide. So we have covered the and part 3 of the model 5. Model 5 we have learned interview attentions, developing techniques. Part 3 we have learned techniques of speak clearly. Section 1 about of speak clearly we have completed, and we have covered the section 2 flowchart of speak clearly process approach. Section 3 we have covered with explanation of flowchart and clearly techniques. So we have in this video we have learned the model 5, model 3, section 1, section 2, section 3. So in the next video we'll learn the model 6 of the part 1 section. Thank you.